for John to get in the shot. Now we're cooking with peanut oil.
Hey. Testing.
Test. Mic check. I had to do the same thing too. Felt weird. And scene.
Hello.
Hey.
Grown-up kids of the world.
What's up?
We just checked into our hotel. We're in the great city of San Antonio, Texas. If you're from San Antonio, beautiful city.
It's all right.
We are, I guess this is for me personally, I'm knocking off a item on my bucket list. We're seeing a Switchfoot tomorrow night. So that's why I drove over here to San Antonio. And we just wanted to hop on here. And feels a little strange not being with the rest of the guys, but it's cool because...
Yeah. It's kind of like the old school days.
Yeah, this is like familiar to us. Brandon and I used to record by ourselves with no camera. So we brought our portable little setup. So, but we just wanted to hop on here and just express our gratitude to everybody who's been following, everybody who's been listening and now watching. It means so much to us.
Love to see it.
If you guys don't already know how this even started, I want Brandon to kind of just chime in a little bit. And
yeah, so I had an idea for a podcast maybe like 2018, I think, when we started talking about it. This is long, like 5 years ago. So we just kind of had this idea because, you know, I have a lot of weird ideas, but I'm the idea guy. John's the execution guy. So I just came to him and I was like, dude, let's do a podcast. I think we have the charisma. We have the things to talk about certain things. And we just thought it'd be fun. Why not? Why not try it? See what it's like, you know? And I think funny enough, we just found it. We didn't care if anybody like listened. We just found it therapeutic for us, which is pretty cool because it's a creative outlet that we get to exercise and make and just going into it and all the details. And John really flexes his muscles in the graphic design and doing things that he's not paid to do, which is really awesome, which he should be paid. So please watch and continue to like and subscribe on the YouTube channel. So now that we moved on to YouTube, you know, we're jumping forward a little bit, but we've kind of just added these little milestones as we've gone along, and it's really cool to see that when we started adding Michael and shout out Caleb as a past co-host. You know, we just started coming up with ideas, meetings, just hanging out, you know, making it less structured and just, hey, let's just topics. Let's talk about this, that. And just making it feel like you're in the room with us. And that's what we've always wanted, is just to like create something that's just fun and open. And when we brought those guys in, it was like, cool, like we're just adding more people. And then special shout out to Pique. We met him at our birthday celebration, which we did really small. If you guys were listening to the podcast, you know, or remember that. It was really cool. And we got to meet him and get to know him. And he was like a legit fan. Like we didn't even, like he was quoting stuff to us from our episodes that we were, and we're like, whoa, we said that? Like, not in a bad way, like we don't remember it, but just like, oh, yeah, I remember that. And he just had such a knowledge, and he was so like-minded that we were like, man, this just makes sense. And he's added a ton of contributions to the podcast as well. We've tried with him. We've dabbled in video, like we've done like video chats and stuff, and we've have some of those clips on our Instagram and stuff. But
well, when we were doing strictly audio,
yeah,
we would FaceTime him and Brandon in.
Yeah, because I live in San Antonio.
Time.
I live here.
Yeah.
So.
And so since PK lives further away, it's harder for us to get him in the studio with us. So we kind of figured out another way to accomplish that, which we learned that with Brandon, because there was a I think it was during season 2, it was strictly on the phone calls.
Yeah, it was really bad.
And shout out to you guys who still listened and have still supported us through all of our different phases and, like Brandon said, milestones. But PK is honestly the first person that I feel me, Brandon, and Michael felt like was like a real genuine fan, and not just somebody who's like, hey, I know those guys, like those are my friends, like I'm gonna listen to the podcast.
Yeah, we literally didn't know him. Like
I knew who he was, but I didn't know his birthday. I didn't know
yeah,
I didn't know anything about him. Like I didn't know his favorite color.
Yeah.
Nothing. And,
so that was cool, and
so to hear somebody from the outside who isn't close to us and in our circle, like it meant a lot to hear like how often he listened to the podcast and how much this podcast means to him. And now asking him to be a part of it, we feel like has been probably one of the greatest things we could have ever done for a podcast. Although he hasn't been on the podcast per se.
Visually.
He's
coming. Don't worry.
We're actually recording an episode with him this weekend. Me and the guys that live in the Valley. So I'm looking forward to that. But like Brandon said, we just wanted to give a shout out to Pique. Also, we over the years we've wanted to expand our team, and it kind of just happened so organically in the same fashion as it did with Pique. We invited Isaac to join us as a Grown-Up Kid co-host, and he's been amazing. He's brought in more professionalism, and he's very like task oriented, and he's like very goal oriented, and he's helping kind of like bring all of our ideas down onto like paper. And it's like, okay, but like what's feasible? Like, that'd be super cool, but like what about this and what about this? And so he's also been like a huge asset to the team, and we just love having him on. And I think it sounds a little funny, like a little silly that we're saying to the team, because we're not really like professionals at this. We're just doing this for fun. But we've seen countless times through direct messages from you, people who are sharing our content, people who are listening, awesome. How much joy you guys get out of watching and listening to us
and hanging out with us
and hang out with us while we're rambling about the dumbest things, and just trying to hone in on what that means to you guys has helped us kind of focus and come up with newer ways to bring you guys joy and laughter. And I think that's
definitely
one of my favorite things about this podcast, is that it started off as just a conversation between Brandon and I, like we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And it's evolved to us involving other people, other walks of life, other career paths, other family members, like people from just different, like different aspects and different parts of their own lives, and how we can come together and be like this is a mentality. Having a grown-up kid mindset is like, hey, the world and the things that are happening around the world are real, and it's all a matter of perspective. And I think there's moments in your day that may suck and may be really hard, like a really what am I trying to say?
Like a difficult day, or
it's like a difficult day, or
difficult
like
time.
Difficult time. But if you can look at it from another perspective and see, you know what, hey, it's not as bad as it seems, or like, you know what, I remember when I was a kid, I thought that was the worst day. You know what I mean? Like it helps you kind of just like take a breath and just kind of like internalize and be like, hey, like internalize the situation and just look at it from the point of view of a kid. And I think that can be very beneficial as adults, without neglecting like the actual real responsibilities we have as adults, you know. But it started off as just as a conversation between Brandon and I, and we were juggling around some names, terrible ideas and names for this podcast.
90s Kids Podcast.
But
that was taken, unfortunately.
Yeah, that one was taken. I can't even remember.
Yeah.
I have it written down in a notebook somewhere. Maybe we'll unvault it one of these days. But
oh God.
We just wanted, like I said, to hop on here. Quick short video of just showing our, expressing our gratitude to you guys for watching and for listening.
Thank you.
And also just thanking our new additions to the team, to the podcast. Nathan as well has been
crucial.
A crucial part of this podcast. He's really knowledgeable in video and, just lighting and just different things that all of us kind of know, like, oh, turn that light on. But it's like, okay, but if you put a light here, then what about here? You know, like he's so knowledgeable in those things. And now that we're moving to video, we wanted someone that we could trust, someone that wouldn't change the atmosphere in the sense that we felt like, okay, maybe we can't be ourselves. Like we wanted to find someone that we knew we could be ourselves in front of, and that was definitely Nathan. Nathan's been both of our friends. He's
for
been
a while.
both of our friends for a really long time, and he's a friend of the podcast. He's a fan of the podcast. He's been watching since episode 1, and so we just wanted to hop on here and just like I said, just show some appreciation to you guys for watching and listening. And please look forward to the newest episode that's going to be releasing very soon. We got together with Isaac, Michael, me, Brandon, as well as Nathan. This is the first time that he's been on video. He was on an episode
on video
with us on I think it was Conspiracy Theories. He did an episode with us.
Yeah,
but it was just audibly. It was just an audio.
That's when he scares everybody.
Huh?
That's when he scares everybody, right?
No. He was on the conspiracy. Oh, well, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
But he was on an episode with me. It was me, AJ, Michael, and him.
Oh yes.
It was a while. It was like
a while back.
season 3,
Yeah, audio. Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, this is the first time Nathan's been like at the table
on camera
in front of a mic.
Yeah, that makes
for
sense.
the whole episode, and so that was like a thrill and honor for us to have someone that's been integral in this podcast be able to sit with us and so what we did, and we hope you guys enjoy, we're trying out some different ways to bring you guys content.
For sure.
What we did was we set up some board games or card games, I should say.
It was a card game.
We basically played this game for like an hour and a half, and I narrowed it down through the editing and stuff.
You picked all the funny ones.
Yeah, I basically wanted you guys to enjoy, but basically we played this game, and the game inevitably forced our hand to roast each other in a way.
It was pretty good.
It was pretty
funny.
good
It was funny.
/ pretty bad, but at the end of the day, we still love each other, and it was a good time. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this short little video. And I don't know about you, but I'm looking forward to seeing Switchfoot tomorrow.
Yeah, can't wait. Quick little side note.
Go for it.
We've been listening to Switchfoot probably for the same amount of years that this tour's on, 20 years, when this album came out. It's funny because John and I found the album before The Beautiful Letdown, which is really cool. And there's a couple of songs on there that are really special to us because we just grew fond of them as kids. Yeah, we were kids back then, but it's kind of like, it's really cool. We're gonna see something just come out of this that's really cool. Is like something that you've been with for 20 years. Like what's something that you've been with for 20 years besides family and friends, and different things. But music is so different and universal, and it's such an experience. So, and as musicians ourselves, I'm not a good one. He's a great one. But it's just cool to see that and be in that environment and actually experience the live experience together, which we've always said we'd go to shows together. We never really do. We barely watch movies together, but we have a podcast together. But you know what I mean? Whatever. But it's pretty cool to actually come together and do this, and it's kind of just fits in with everything with the grown-up kids, and our slogan, be best friends with your inner kid, is just don't let that little part of you die, kind of keep that little kid alive. After a hard day's work, watch some Looney Tunes or unwind with some video games or some laughter with friends.
Whatever gets you to that headspace, like don't lose that and like fight for that.
Yeah.
Because it's very important to just regulate like all the things that are happening around you. It's so good for your soul. It's so good for your mind.
Your mental health.
Yeah. And
it's so good. Yeah.
And I think that's something that this podcast has started for us. It was just like you said, like an outlet, like a hobby. And now, honestly, like I've heard people say like that it means it carries more weight because they're starting to realize like, hey, like they're right. Like there is moments in my day where I should have that childlike wonder again for certain things. And I should find those things in my life that I can still geek out about or nerd out about or whatever you want to call it. And find like that inner peace, like there's several ways to do it. And having that grown-up kid mentality is another outlet you guys can use. This is not exclusive to the team, to the podcast. Yeah. This is for you guys. We want to share that with y'all. And if that's something that you get, if that's the only thing that you get from this podcast, like that's more than enough for us because we just want to bring happiness, joy, and laughter is something that we feel is crucial to this podcast.
For sure.
I don't think there's ever been an episode where we don't laugh.
No. Not at
or
all.
smile.
If we don't
it
laugh,
doesn't even matter how serious the conversation gets. At some point, we bring it back around.
If we don't laugh, I swear I feel like we're gonna just throw away the whole episode. Like it's not even worth it. Like it's just us hanging out, us being best friends with each other and learning each other and just making each other laugh and creating those lasting friendships and we want to spread it out to everyone and just show that you can still be best friends with your inner kid, be good friends with friends and family that you grew up with, or maybe just someone you just met. I just met Isaac this past year, and he's one of the coolest dudes I know. He inspires me as a dad. Shout out to you, Isaac. You're a great man, and love what you're doing, brother. So this is, like John said, we're probably just rambling at this point.
We're just checking in.
But yeah, we just wanted to, as the creators of this, just come on and be like, thank you for your support. Thank you for the move to YouTube. If you're watching live when we go live, you're MVP because those aren't the greatest times to watch, apparently.
Okay. It's because I set it to premiere in 4K quality, but the one that loaded in time for the premiere was in 360.
So you're a real one if you watch live.
So if you watch this
there's
past
a couple
episode,
of you. Yeah, there's a couple of you.
But if you go back to our YouTube channel, all of the videos should be in good quality by now. So
for sure. So
but anyway,
don't worry. We're not.
We love you
skipping out on
guys. Never let go of that inner kid.
Yeah.
Let him out a little bit more. Jump into that ball pit.
Let's go.
We'll see you guys very soon on the next episode of the Grown-Up Kids podcast.
Yeah. Betcha she would.